Now let's go ahead and make another constructor. So this time I'm going to create a Dalmatian class. And it's going to be a dog with the color white with black spots. But obviously I haven't created any kind of relationship between Dalmatian and dog just yet. So if I reload, oh, syntax error. Let's see where that is. Oh, I forgot my parentheses. This is a function. So obviously if I set spot to new Dalmatian, let's try that again. So now spot is a dog, but only the color property is set. So I can say spot.color and that works fine, but if I say spot.speak, that doesn't work at all. So in order to define the inheritance relationship, I need to do something a little odd. So let me give you a little background first. So if you're used to a language like C++ or Java or C#, then the way that you define an inheritance relationship is you have a base class like dog, and then you extend that base class by creating a subclass like Dalmatian. So the way you do it in JavaScript is a little different. So JavaScript is known as a prototypal or prototypal language where inheritance is based on prototypes. So what is a prototype? A prototype is an object. So the way you define an inheritance relationship is you set a base prototype, a base object, that the sub-object that you're creating inherits all the properties from. So instead of extending a class, which is a blueprint for a set of objects, instead you're extending an object by adding additional methods and additional properties to the base set of objects and properties that that object has. So what I want to do basically is I want to create a new dog, which is the prototype for all Dalmatians. And then I want to inherit that prototype for all Dalmatians that I create. The way that works is the constructor, the Dalmatian function, has a prototype property, which is an object. So whenever you create a function, there's going to be a prototype property for that function. Let's take a look at it. So Dalmatian, which is a function, dot prototype, is an object with a constructor function. And actually this constructor function, if I open this up, the function is Dalmatian. So an object whose function, constructor function, is a Dalmatian is the prototype for all Dalmatian objects. And there aren't any other properties that are really interesting or useful on this object because I haven't set any. But for example, if I set Dalmatian dot prototype dot legs equal 4, and then I said spot dot legs, all of a sudden spot, an existing Dalmatian, inherits the number of legs from the prototype of the Dalmatian class. So I can do this for other properties as well. So dog.sound is bark. Spot.sound is now bark as well. And this will be true for any other dog that I create. So for example, Rover is new Dalmatian as well. Rover.legs is 4. Rover.sound is bark, but I still haven't set a property for speak. So that's still going to be an error. So this suggests a way of doing inheritance, which is to make sure that all of the properties defined for dog are also set for the prototype object for the Dalmatian class. And there's a really easy way of doing that, which is Dalmatian.prototype equal new dog. So Dalmatian is going to have a prototype object because it's a function, but I'm overriding that default generic object with a new dog. So any new dog that I create is going to have all of the properties that are defined for dog. So let's go ahead and actually let me save this, save, and then reload. And now I'm going to create Spot is new Dalmatian, Spot.speak, bark, Spot.number of legs is 4, Spot.color is white with black spots. So I have any properties and methods that I've defined on Dalmatian, but I also have all of the properties and methods that are defined on dog. Now, the chain continues. So for example, if I want a constructor for miniature Dalmatian, not that I think there is a miniature Dalmatian, but whatever. This dot size is small, and let's say the default size for dogs is medium. All I have to do here is set mini Dalmatian dot prototype is new Dalmatian. So now a mini Dalmatian is a Dalmatian with size small, and a Dalmatian is a white with black spot dog, and then here are all the properties of dog. So let's go ahead and reload. Spot is a new mini Dalmatian. Spot.size, inherited directly from the object I created. Spot.color, inherited from the Dalmatian class. Spot.sound, inherited all the way up from the dog class. So basically there's a chain of prototypes here. The prototype for mini Dalmatian is a Dalmatian object. The prototype for Dalmatian is a dog object. And then here are all the features on dog objects. Now you may notice that prototype is just a property that has an object as its value. And so this means that I can't actually have more than one object here. I can't have mini Dalmatian inherit both from a small dog's object as well as inherit from a Dalmatian object. But I could compose anything I want on this prototype. So for example, let's create a small dogs constructor. And then we'll set the prototype for small dog. And then for mini Dalmatian, what I want is actually an object that is both a Dalmatian and a small dog. So let's create such an object. First, I'll start with the new Dalmatian, and then I'm going to call the constructor for small dog on the object which is the prototype for mini Dalmatian. The way that's going to work is like this. Small dog dot call, then I specify the object I want to run this on as if it were a method, mini Dalmatian dot prototype, and any parameters it takes, but the constructor here doesn't take any parameters, so I just do that. And then I'm going to get rid of this property here because I'm going to inherit it from small dog now. And I'm going to reload. So now if I look at mini Dalmatian, it has a prototype, which is an object, and it's an object of type dog with the color white with black spots, and that's from the Dalmatian constructor, and also a size small, and that's from the small dog constructor. So now if I say var spot is new mini Dalmatian, spot.size is small, spot.color is white with black spots, and spot.speak is bark. So the JavaScript inheritance model looks a little different from what you might be used to in Java or C#, but it's actually pretty powerful. Any object that you can construct becomes a prototype for this class. The object that you construct itself can inherit properties from other classes like dog, and you can actually mix and match properties from multiple classes just by setting the properties of the prototype. Takes a little getting used to, but it's quite handy.